Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka The Terrible Australian, and welcome to my video review of acclaimed writer-director John Michael McDonagh's latest film, the dark buddy cop comedy War on Everyone. So let's get right into it. Now, John Michael McDonagh, I haven't seen his very first film as a director, The Guard, and that's one of those films I've been meaning to get around to seeing. But I have seen his previous film, Calvary, which I thought was a really interesting and compelling sort of darkly comedic drama that is sort of examined faith and the Catholic Church, and I thought that was a really interesting and compelling film. But it showed how much of a really good writer he is as well, because the film had some really strong characters and a story, and so I was very interested. But it put me on to seeing more of his work. Like I said, I haven't got around to seeing The Guard yet, but it's definitely on my list to check out. But when I heard he has a new film out now, which is War on Everyone, which is a complete polar opposite of Calvary as you can get. This is sort of a very dark comedy that tackles the buddy cop genre. So I was very interested to see how it turned out, and I have to say, while I did enjoy the film, it is kind of a mixed bag as well. But I will say this though, right off the bat. This is definitely one of the most un-PC films I've seen in quite a while. It definitely, in terms of, I thought Grimsby was very un-PC. This is just, maybe not quite as un-PC as that, but this one is very politically incorrect in so many ways. And you kind of have to admire John Michael McDonagh's kind of, his balls to sort of tackle a lot of these sort of things that he does in this film. But the thing is though, as very un-PC as the film is, and there are a lot of times where the film is so wrong on so many levels, but you kind of feel guilty for laughing at some of the stuff, even though you shouldn't be. But the film does have some pretty funny moments. At times I did feel like a lot of the jokes did kind of fall flat, and not in a way that I felt like the film was too mean-spirited. The movie is very mean-spirited to an extent, but not in a way that, turned me off from the film or anything like that, if that makes any sense. But it does have a sort of a mean streak to it, but it does it in a way that's more comical rather than anything. So you don't really sort of take anything too serious by what's happening on screen. As ridiculous as this film gets at times, and believe me, it does, it's just done for laughs. And yeah, sometimes the jokes work, and other times they just kind of fall flat. But one of the things that I found quite good about the film, and why I enjoyed it as much, is of course the lead performances of Alexander Skarsgård and Michael Peña, who kind of are the buddy cop combo in this film. And they have great chemistry with each other, and they give really enjoyable performances. And they have great back and forth between each other as well. So they make a pretty good team. And of course the supporting cast, which is Theo, Tessa, Thompson, Caleb Landry Jones, and many more, are all really solid in their performances as well. And the script is very darkly humoured, but it's a film that is played for laughs and for fun. Like I said, but again, at the end of the day, I think this film will kind of work for you if you have a bit of a sixth sense of humor, and I do, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart. If you're a person who doesn't like politically incorrect humor, this is definitely not going to work for you at all. But I think if you kind of get on its wave, there's still quite to enjoy. Like I said, I think it's a mixed bag overall, because as sort of over the top with its humor this film can get sometimes, it pretty much is just standard kind of buddy cop comedy. It's pretty predictable, you know where the story's going to go, but just what makes it stand out more is just how un-PC it is, and the fact that it has the balls to do what it does in this film. But overall, it's not a perfect film by any means, and I think compared to Calvary, I mean, you can't even compare this film to Calvary, because they're both even though, yeah, they're both made by the same writer and director, they're just complete polar opposites of each other in a lot of ways. So it's not kind of fair to sort of, compare the two. But for most part, I mean, I didn't like this as much as Calvary, but for most part, I thought it was pretty okay. There are some really good moments in it, but there's some parts I didn't think quite worked and kind of just fell flat. I mean, using that term again. So, but I did enjoy the cast, particularly, and this is the kind of film where everyone is is twisted in this film. Like there is no moral characters in this film. Everyone is very bad on some level, and I like I said, that's why I kind of enjoyed it. Just the fact that it actually went there, and yeah, I did laugh at some of the gags and all that, even though I wasn't supposed to. But yeah, so it's definitely not for everyone. I can definitely see a lot of people hating it, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty okay. Like it could have been a lot better. Like I think there's some aspects that could have been a lot stronger, but for the most part, I thought it was a pretty solid buddy cop film, if not a great one. But yeah, I'd say if you do have a bit of a sixth sense of humor and a very un-PC sense of humor, I think you might get a kick out of this. So if I had to give this film a rating, I give it a solid 3.5. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's enjoyable on a level. So yeah, that's the end of my video review of War on Everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you guys. Bye.